All right, welcome back from the commercial break. Coming up next, we've got a classic review of Metroid Fusion. You know, I figured.
Steve, do you see that?
See what? It's not. Anyways, so there's a lot of Metroid games, and I figured it'd be cool for us to look at one of them. You know, see what made that one great, and kind of anticipate things coming up next. Jose, I gotta go do the review.
Dude, I'll cover you. Go. You're not getting me this time, Metroid.
Hey guys, it's Steven Zurita here with my classic game of the week. With another Metroid game in the works, I got to thinking about some of my own experiences with the Metroid universe, and I settled on Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance. If you were to take the entire Metroid timeline, this game takes place at the end of it. It begins with Samus Aran escorting a team of scientists to the planet SR-388. While there, she gets infected by Parasite X, a type of virus that can duplicate an organism's form and abilities. She blacks out in space and ejects from her ship. A team of doctors has to surgically remove her suit to get to the virus, but some of the virus and suit remained attached to her body. So they used a sample of the Metroid Samus adopted in Metroid 2 to remove the rest of the virus. This left Samus without the use of her suit and with the Metroid's biological weakness to cold, but also with its ability to absorb the X-Parasite for energy. Despite her weakened state, she goes to investigate an explosion on the space stations around SR-388. This is where you start off, and the game doesn't disappoint. The game was easier this time around compared to others in the series, such as having more upgrades that appear sooner than in other games. Samus gets her mission objectives directly from her ship's computer as well. Overall, again, this game was much easier, but it focused on story much more, and that made up for the difference in level difficulty. This is the first game to give this level of detail into Samus's life and thoughts, and you end up discovering a lot about her backstory as the game goes on. One of the biggest twists in this game was the SAX, which is an X-Parasite that replicated Samus's power suit. Unable to match the full-powered suit, Samus has to run, hide, and escape the SAX for much of the time. Finally, you have to crash the entire space station into SR-388 to prevent the relentless X-Parasites in the SAX from escaping into the rest of the universe. But it wasn't that easy. On the way, you finally have to take on and beat the SAX, which has managed to clone itself. After setting the crash course, you have to race against the clock to get to your ship in typical Metroid fashion, but an Omega Metroid stands in your way. With no way of fighting the beast, one last SAX sacrifices itself and gives you the full power suit to finish off the Metroid. Also in typical Metroid fashion, you make it off the space station just in time. Just like in any other game of the series, there's a huge twist at the end of the game, but I won't ruin it for you. All I'll say is that a character in the new Metroid the Other M game will give this twist even more meaning than it already has. Some other things you could do with this game is connect it to Metroid Prime on the GameCube, which released at the same time for more fun and bonus features. But on its own, Metroid Fusion has all the classic bits that made the previous games great, like boss battles and platforming, but with a big focus on story that made it stand out as a part of the entire Metroid series, which is why it's my pick for Classic Game of the Week. Back to you guys, me, us, them. Back to the couch.